What's up, y'all? You know who the fuck I am, man. It's No Joke Howard, coming at you live from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Yeah, I had a pretty interesting day. Today, it's still the wet season here in Cambodia, so actually September is the most brutal month. It's the wettest month, and on my way home, I mean, there was literally 2 to 3 feet of water, and it was just rushing down the street like a fucking river. And I just had to walk my way home with my raincoat and my bicycle, and my bicycle actually got fucking mangled. It got mangled because all the plastic, like from all the litter, got caught in my gears, and my bike is fucking mangled now. So it was an adventure, though. I really wish I could have gotten on camera, man, because it was literally like the streets it was like a rushing river, and I was walking through it with all these people trying to get through. It was a fucking chaotic adventure, and it was so much fun. But I'm a little pissed off about my bike, though, but I'll get it fixed. It's all good. But tonight's video, I want to talk to you about my time in a mental institution. Now, I know in some of my other videos, I mentioned it, like in the one about the history of No Joke Howard, and if you saw my live presentation at Nerd Night here in Phnom Penh, I talked about my time in a mental hospital. But I just want to talk a little bit more about it and just some of my experiences in there and a little bit about why I went there. Basically, it all started when I was about 13 or 14, and I was riding in a car with my mom, and I had been depressed at that time, and she was wondering what was going on with me. And I basically just flat out said, "Look, Mom, I just can't stop thinking about killing people. That's all I want to do is fucking murder people." And I was like, I was dead serious. And my mom pulled over, or no, she didn't pull over, but no, that was when I told her I wanted to kill myself. She pulled over and threw up. She fucking pulled over and threw up. I mean, so like it really affected her when I said that. I probably should have said that to her, but that's how I felt, man. But when I was like 13 or 14, I got bullied a lot, and I didn't have any friends, and blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever. And I just didn't like who I was. I was weak. And obviously I'm not anymore, but I had a hit list of people I wanted to kill at my school, and I could have been another one of those school shooting kids. Could have been, but instead I just got into a fight and stood up for myself. I told her I wanted to kill people. I had a hit list. I was obsessed with serial killers, Jeffrey Dahmer in particular. Something about how he was a necrophiliac and a cannibal really attracted me, I guess, just because that was pretty visceral and like fucking intense. And I was really into guys like Ed Gein and John Wayne Gacy and all that. Just the most fucked up serial killers. For whatever reason, and I wanted to be that. I wanted to be known as a violent person and as a sick person when I was much younger. And now in hindsight, obviously that's completely ridiculous, but that's how I felt. So basically, after seeing several psychiatrists and doctors, I had this one guy. He forget his name. I think his name was Mike, some fucking counselor or whatever. But he basically legally mandated me to go to a mental hospital. He said, "Brayton, you're going to a mental hospital whether you like it or not. The police are going to take you, or your parents can take you." So my parents took me the same day, and I get there late at night and all this crap, and the first thing that happens is I'm interrogated by the head psychiatrist. His name was Dr. Frank. This motherfucker made like $50 an hour asking people bullshit questions. "Oh, do you hear voices, sir? Do you have suicidal thoughts? Do you find it hard to focus in school?" Like, of course I find it hard to focus in school. Who the fuck wants to learn algebra, dude? But anyways, hold on, let me change my track here. Let me get a new track while I'm talking about this. But yeah, so I get interrogated about all these questions about, am I hearing voices, am I having suicidal thoughts or whatever. More like homicidal thoughts, really. And I got into my room, and there were 3 beds, and I was in the middle of the room. To my left was a kid named Brian Nischwander, and to my right was a kid named Michael Banzel. And Michael Banzel, I actually went to school with him, so we knew each other. And my biggest fear was that he was going to go back to school and tell everybody about, the fact that I was there. But he didn't. He was kind of special. He wasn't full-on retard, but he was just kind of like, he just wasn't quite there. and he was in there for sexual things. Apparently, he was like touching little girls or like showing little girls his penis or whatever at school, or like jerking off or some shit. He would always talk about how he wanted to fuck like little girls and like inject them with his sperm and like do all this fucked up shit sexually with his penis to them. And the guy to my left, Brian, he was a self-cutter, and he was literally just riddled with cuts. I mean, he took plastic forks from the cafeteria inside the hospital, and he would just sneak it back, and I would sit there and just watch him cut himself. Like, we would have a regular fucking conversation about music or just being in school or whatever, and I'd just watch him cut himself. He was just digging a fucking fork into his skin, just bleeding, and I never told on him, because honestly, I didn't really give a fuck. Like, I'm not really a snitch. That's really not my style. But a lot of other kids in there, they were like, you know, into gangs and shit. They were like Latino gangs or black gangs, and they were in there for selling drugs and being like, you know, socially disruptive or whatever, which in my opinion, they didn't really belong in a mental hospital. They belonged in juvenile detention or jail or something, or just neither of those. Like, they're just regular fucking kids. You know, and I was being pumped with things like Depakote, Abilify, Zyprexa, Lithium, excuse me. I always stutter with my fucking L's, man. Lithium. I was on Lithium for like 5 years. Which made me fat. I started putting on a lot of weight. But yeah, like my time in the mental hospital, man, you know, like the boys and the girls were always trying to fuck each other, and I just remember, I remember having a lot of cool friends in there, man. Like some of the most interesting people I ever met in my life. I mean, you know, people in jail, people in a mental hospital get a bad rap, but the thing y'all have to realize is that there's a lot of crazy motherfuckers out there. There's a lot of people who break the law. There's a lot of people who have fucked up thoughts. Everybody has fucked up thoughts, man. Everybody does shit that can get them put in jail. Only difference is you motherfuckers didn't get caught. Okay? There's people that think about killing people on a daily basis, and they never go to a mental hospital. They never take a fucking pill. Simply because they keep the shit to themselves, or they're just so socially, you know, inept, it never comes out. You know, and the same could be said about people going to prison. I mean, there's people that get away with murder. There's people that get away with thievery or drug dealing or assault or whatever and never get caught, you know? Plenty of people do fucked up shit and they don't get caught, so why are you judging people in a mental institution or going to jail? Now, if I legitimately was like a murderer or a serial killer, then yeah, judge me, but I've never killed anybody. You know, I just used to be obsessed with it, and I fucking never did kill anybody. No, seriously, but I never did. Wanted to, came damn close, but my time in a mental hospital was pretty fucking intense, man. One of my roommates, Michael Banzel, he actually tried to commit suicide with a fucking shower curtain, and I don't know why the fuck they had shower curtains in there, because they wouldn't let us have shoelaces, they wouldn't let us have belts. I'm surprised they even let us have fucking shirts, because anything you could use to hang yourself, these motherfuckers would do it. And we did have like some of the showers had a sliding door and some of the showers had shower curtains, which was weird to me. But he tried to hang himself with a shower curtain, but the fucking shower rod broke. It was a mess. It was a fucking mess. But he tried to kill himself because he was ashamed of who he was, I guess, and ashamed of the fact that he was in there for doing something he shouldn't have done. And, you know, I think he realized that, you know, being a fucking pedophile and being a sexual deviant was something that was going to be a problem for him for the rest of his fucking life. So he figured, well, I'll just end my life now. Yeah, but anyways, after a couple weeks of being in there and having several different roommates, I eventually got out. It was like I was only in there for a couple weeks because I was well behaved. I didn't really start any shit. I was kind of quiet, kept to myself. But you know, I guess the moral of the story is, yeah, like, don't judge people who've been to prison. Don't judge people who've been to a mental institution. It doesn't make you any better than them. I guarantee you, plenty of people have the same fucked up thoughts, you know, and just never said anything about it, or, you know, like, they never got caught. But taking the lithium for 5 years definitely made me fat, and I know you can't tell by looking at me now because I'm in shape, but I used to be like 235 pounds or about 106 kilos when I was in high school. And, you know, let me get another song here. Fuck. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm fucking up here. Yeah, you know, I just, I was on the pills and everything, and I saw a psychiatrist, and it's all fucking bullshit, man. It's all fucking bullshit. Now, like, unless you're really out there hurting people, then psychiatry is a fucking business. That's the biggest thing I got out of being in a mental institution and taking all these medicines and all this shit, is that it's just a fucking business, guys. Everybody has ADHD. I was diagnosed with 2 types of bipolar disorder. I was diagnosed with what the fuck did they say? I was manic depressive or whatever, clinical depression, and maybe I am fucking bipolar. Like, maybe I am crazy. Maybe I am out of my fucking mind, but I think I'm doing okay. I've got my shit together for the most part, and I just have problems, being comfortable in my own skin. But other than that, I think I'm okay, and I think everyone's a little bit bipolar. I mean, everyone has a fucking mood swing. Everybody loses their attention span if something's boring or not interesting, Everybody gets fucking sad. It's called life. People get fucking sad. You don't need a fucking pill. You just need to quit being a bitch, and just keep your damn chin up. Don't let shit get you down. There's a saying, there's like this chart. It's like, do you have a problem, or is there something in your life do you have a problem in your life? And there's 2 arrows, and one goes to yes and one goes to no. And each of the arrows go to like, is there something you can do about it, or is there nothing you can do about it? And then the arrows go to, then stop worrying. So basically, if you have a problem in your life, either you can do something about it or you can't do anything about it. If you can't do anything about it, then don't worry about it. If you can do something about it, then don't worry about it. So maybe I was kind of ranting in this video, but I'm just talking to y'all, just letting y'all know a little bit about my history. And I don't really think that me being in a mental institution is that big of a deal. In fact, I think I learned a lot from it and became a stronger person. And if y'all want to hear more about my time in there, if y'all want to hear more about dealing with psychiatrists and the fucking pharmaceutical industry, and how it's just a fucking business, just shoot me an email, nojokestriking@gmail.com. I hope this video wasn't too boring, y'all, but I don't know. I was kind of bored. Thought I'd talk to you guys. But yeah, stay in touch with me, subscribe, share my fucking videos. nojokestriking@gmail.com. I'm always open to new ideas, so please don't hesitate to shoot me an email, everybody. It was a pleasure speaking to you. Peace.